again and see if we have sound this time. Hello, my name is Cheryl. I am the Muppin Sewing Emporium. How are you doing today? I was doing fine until we had, um, yeah, looks like we had, look at that, we have sound now. But it's frustrating when you think you have sound, you don't have sound, you do this whole thing, la-di-da-di-da. My friends, it's Cheryl. Welcome back to Muppin Sewing Emporium, take 2. We're now live to you through the power of the internet. There's sound. I know. This gets really frustrating really fast, as you can imagine. One of the things that we are constantly battling against is the fact that these tech gremlins seem to persist. So there we are. Let's start over. Guess what? There's a sale. It's going on right now. You don't have to even put in a coupon code. It is automatically generated at checkout. So we have a very short Memorial Day sale going on right now at shop.muppin.com. It is a kind of muggy, sort of awful, rainy, but then weird day here in beautiful downtown Paducah, Kentucky. Today we're going to be working on more M-O-R, more M-O-A-R, as the kids say, more tabs, fabric tabs. They are coming out of my ears. They're everywhere. So we're going to be doing a little bit more of that tonight. So let's talk about it, shall we? So here are a couple of stencils that I have been using to make these tabs. Now, this was the list we made last week to say how many of each of these I need to make. That is what we're trying to do here. So, I've got fabric, and I'm just going to cut some so that I can start making these shapes. And while I'm talking about that, we have been in Chicago for the last couple of days. We opened the store back up yesterday. There was a lot of bad weather between us and Paducah when we were trying to get back, and that created some problems trying to get back from northern suburbs of Chicago. So it's been kind of a weird adventure, but we're back, and the store's been open the last couple of days, and it's holiday weekend driving time. And so that's pretty cool right now. So according to this list that I made last week when I was here, we've got to create 4 tabs that are of this shape. Now, this is my little template, and this is the kind of template I'm using that is my this is like a test template, right? Because what I like to do is to see if what I am using with this is going to, if it'll work out for what I'm trying to do. And so far, I've been happy with this little template. This is made of paper, but a future template will probably made out of something sturdier. And so this is just kind of an insight into my my design process when it comes to using these things. Now, you're probably like, what's this little arrow, what's that thing for? And that is so I have enough of a seam allowance between each of these as I'm making them. So that's the difference. Now, according to my notes, I only need 4 of that shape, but I do need quite a few of this other one. And I'm trying to remember how. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, and what I'm trying to do is to try to line up the last section of that template here. And that allows me then to do my drawing uh, like equidistant from the previous one. Now, if I were to do this little template again, I think I would make it out of a plastic of a like a clear template plastic, so that I can see where I'm going with the next one, which is why I had to create that little window in the first place. So, according to this, we need 8 of this shape, the shape of the V-shaped tab. And then we need 5 of this ribbon shape. So we just have to pay attention to how many of these that we are drawing. And then I brought my sewing machine, and perhaps I can set it up and continue sewing these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 3 more to get done, and then we can do the 5 of the other shape. And what's going to happen here is hopefully I'm able to get these sewn and turned tonight so that I can finish the tuffet. I mean, I'm so close. Oh my goodness. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1 more. And so the allergies are off the charts. Everyone here in Paducah is complaining about these spring allergies. They're so annoying. And even my husband is having quite a lot of trouble with his allergies and this allergy season. So, we've got that. So I really don't have a way to track this one on this side. And so I need 5 total of this ribbon shape. So I'm just going to eyeball where they go because I don't have the little cutout. See, I need a cutout on this side, but I'm too lazy. And I can do it in the reverse direction, so maybe that will help me. And so I need 3 of this version, well, 5 total. So there's the pieces, and you're probably wondering, like, why do I draw it with pencil? What else could I be drawing this with? I could be doing this with a friction pen, so that when I erase, I want to erase these marks. I can do that with an iron, because a friction pen and is just erasable or erasable with heat. And so I'm just extending out the sides here. Gives me more room to make this sort of tab shape. So and then what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get the machine, and I'm going to sew these. Now, if you saw these a couple of weeks ago, you probably saw that these are sewn on the machine in a very particular way, and that's going to be part of the trick here. So I'll show you that in a moment. But these little tabs, hopefully they will all be so right. And then according to this, I need 10 and 12 of two other shapes, which were shapes that I was doing before I got these particular ones. If you can see, this one is the round shape, and there was one that was more oval shaped, right, at the end. And so this one, what I can do is I can use this as a template, but I got to turn it right side out. Or wrong side out. Is that right? Wrong side out? Yeah, and if you're noticing, we got like a weird late start, and we also did not use our intro on this video. That's because we had to stop and restart the video because we didn't have any sound. So there's that. And it's like Tech Gremlins doing all of that fun stuff tonight. So there you go. All right. So here is the shape for this particular one. And what I can do is I can use this as a template. And according to this, I need 10 of these. So it's going to be easier for me to do this just by tracing an older one. And that will help. So yeah, so I was up in Chicago for a few days. I was the guest of Prairie Star Quilt Guild. They had me come up and do a lecture and some workshops. And then last Saturday, I was teaching at the National Quilt Museum. So it's been a busy few days around here, and we're just, trying to get back into the swing of things. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we may not make all 5 on this little sheet, but we will soon find out. So yeah, it's been really busy. The Quilt Guild folks were absolutely lovely. I always love going back up to the Chicagoland area, and I got to see my dad while I was up there. Dad is doing well. So yeah, it's just been kind of a cool trip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I'm gonna get them all on here, so that is great. And then we just have the 12 V-shape ones to do after that. Exciting. And like I said, the weather has been so weird. So we were supposed to be back Wednesday, and what happened was the weather turned, and when I was going to drive was going to be right when there were all of these terrible storms. So I chose instead to stay in the Chicagoland area while that sort of passed, and then I was able to get like on the road after that. So yeah. Okay, so we've got our pieces, but what we need to do next is set up the machine to get that to get this all up and running. So we're just gonna do this. We're gonna do this live. So any and all problems are just going to be part of the show. So today I am using my very old Janome 4900. This is to show you, my friends, that you do not need like the top of the line fancy machine to do these, but also I taught my my quilting class on this machine. All of my award-winning quilts have been done on this machine, so I love it when people are like, "Oh, I don't have the machine for that." Well, guess what? You do. Because if I can make my machine or my quilts on this machine, so can you. Means your machine is totally capable. So there's that. All right, so I'm just making an adjustment to the camera. There we go. So let's pop this up. There we go. All right, now we now just need to plug it in, which I do have to go behind everything to do. So bear with me. Like I said, this is live through the power of the internet. You just get what you get. All right. So now we should have some power. Yay! All right. So, for those of you that don't know, this is my beautiful Janome 4900. It's an oldie. It's a goodie. Look at that. Look at that. All right. So, as you can probably see, I was sewing with my other foot here. I was doing my quilting class with the free motion foot on it, which means we have to drop on a different foot. So let's do that, shall we? Da, 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 da. All right, so these little screwdrivers are the best. I do love them. And so let's see if we can get sort of in your face here. We've got, yeah, there we go. This is very awkward positioning for this this little thing here, but we're going to do our best. So we got to take the this foot off because that's not the foot we want to be using. Now, most people call this like the candy tray. It's not a candy tray. Okay. Despite the memes you've seen going all over, is not a candy tray. And we do have to put the ankle on the foot. That's what that is called. Okay. So we're putting on the new foot. And to do that, we have to put in, this is a low shank adapter ankle. And there we go. And we're just going to snap on our foot, and we are almost ready. We do need to put in a different bobbin because this is like playing thread chicken here. Okay, there's like hardly nothing on that. So we're gonna put in a different bobbin. I was like, I know, I just took it out. All right. So here is that little guy. And we have thread in here, and it's totally appropriate and fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring that bobbin up. And we're good to go. We're good to start. What do you think? And so I can move this a little bit more, but we're just trying to get like right there. Okay. So, and then if you remember, This starts with your right sides together. And in this particular one, we put batting underneath. And we do need to do that here. And I have a piece of batting to do that with. And so I'm just going to throw this fabric onto the batting. And I am going to just really quickly cut the piece of batting. So I'm not trying to wrangle, a full-size bat. So, and I always cut my batting with like scissors that I don't use for quilting or for cutting fabric, because it is really hard on scissors sometimes. So there is that. Okay. So what do you think? Shall we start? I think we should. And what we're going to do is we're going to just put this batting underneath. And we've got all of the fabric right sides together. And we're just going to start sewing. Now, I do want to start, I think, on the other side, though. And the reason for that is these are straight lines. And that allows me to leave the fabric sort of hanging off this other end and not bunched up here in my throat plate. So there's that. Okay. Alrighty. Let me just find my good position here on the chair. Now, what's good about this particular drawing is that it will, you can go into the fabric and do it needle down here. So that's going to be really good. So let's get that started. And I do want to lower my stitch length just a hair. We're doing a 2.0 on this. And we do want a very tiny stitch. Okay, so one of the things I didn't do was raise my feed dogs from my machine quilting to this. So that's why the fabric's not moving. Now, I like to stop there in the needle down position. And what I'm going to do then is use the down needle to pivot. And that's going to allow me to make that turn nice and quick so that we can make these. That is what's going to allow these to go a little bit faster. And you can see I am not sewing very quickly. There are people who are speed demons on this stuff. That is not this project, This one works better if you take your time. And so to get to the next one, I'm just going to raise my presser foot. I'm going to just move over. That'll create a little thread bridge there, which is fine. And I lower my, put my needle in the down position again. And off I go. So, people are like, oh my gosh, I, thought you sewed faster than that. I do. But you really, on this one, especially with the number of turns I'm doing, and I want those points to be really sharp. I am just taking my time. There are times when you can get, like I call it, you get on the straightaway, and then you can sew a lot faster. And like I said, I mean, most people, if you have a machine that is older, it just goes to show you that you don't need, like, while having a great, like, top of the line machine is awesome, it's not, like, completely necessary for some of these, like, heirloom sewing techniques. You don't need a, like, I've taught heirloom sewing classes on people who have only featherweights. So, you know, a featherweight machine from the, I mean, they're pretty old. They can do all of these techniques too. So as you can see, taking my time, just going through each one. Now, people are starting to ask me, especially if you have come into my shop lately, you're like, oh, I want to see the tuffet. And I show them the tuffet, and then they say, oh gosh, it's like really close to being done. What are you going to do next? And the answer to that is, I don't know. So it gets to a point where I kind of need to see, like, what I'm doing next, what's on the docket. I do have some secret sewing that I have to be doing, so there is that. So we will see. But you know, so I don't see a lot of, like, ASMR videos about sewing, but I do feel like there is a lot of ASMR when it comes to sewing. You either love it, the sound of it, or you really don't. I knew people that would tell me, like, oh, I could listen to your sewing machine all the time because it's like so nice, like it sounds nice. I don't know if I feel like it sounds nice. Sometimes I feel like this one sounds a little clunky. But this one has always sounded a little clunky. So, you know, there's that. Trying to get it to focus on that spot there. So as you can see, this one takes a lot of needle down position so that, you know, the needle can allow you to pivot the fabric like that. And that's how you get nice sharp points when you are doing some of these sharp turns. This technique does require having the batting on the bottom in order for the finished piece to have, like, stuffing in the middle. So there's that. And there's, I think, 8 pointy ones, 5 what we're calling ribbon version. But I'm, and also from when I drew these on, I am just following and sewing directly on the sewn line for this set. For these few, where the pattern is the actual line. And so that's the sewing pattern, the sewing line. On some of the other ones, we're going to use a very narrow hem. These ones down here, they're going to use a hem. So, and that's because I no longer have the pattern piece, and I had to use an existing pattern, an existing piece as the pattern. But, you know, it goes how it goes. This is, again, one of these projects that I needed and need to have being done fairly soon so that I can move on sewing wise to the next project. All right. This is an awkward sewing position for my camera, so I apologize for that, but you know, we're doing our best, as the kids say. And sometimes, like my sewing foot, the actual the sewing pedal, the speed pedal, it gets stuck under the box that's underneath here, and it makes it hard for me to press the foot pedal. This is also on a much higher table than I'm normally sew at. So this is almost like a bar height table. And so even the chair I'm sitting on, you would consider it like a bar height table. So that gets really, that adds to the awkwardness of my sewing project here. Now, when I took all of these home the other day after I did all this sewing, and then I individually cut them all out and took all this, like precious time to do all of that. One of the things that I spent a lot of time was, clipping all my curves and cutting each of these out. So it can be tedious to cut a lot of these out at once, but that's part of this whole process that I'm trying to get done here. So it's Memorial Day weekend, and as you can see, there is a sale going on. I'm very excited about our sale. If you do come into the shop, the sale will apply. So tomorrow is the only day of Memorial Day weekend that we are open. So you will have to come into the store if you want to get that sale in person. Tomorrow's your only day. The sale otherwise, I'm excited about. We got some cool stuff in this shop. Plus, you can get it on the pre-orders and things like that. So if you were looking to pre-order some of our bundles of upcoming fabric, now is the time because you'll get that 15% off. We do not do a lot of sales. This is this one. We do like some Mother's Day, like we do holiday sales, but that's about it. So you got to catch the holiday, and you got to catch the holiday sale per se. So there is that. Oh, I keep hitting the button there too, and I keep hitting it in making this is a very shaky cam. So I will apologize for that. Part of it is because there is no clamp for me on the this closer surface. So let me just do this really quick. Let me take this camera off. And I'm going to try to adjust it, see if I can get that to happen. But while I'm doing that, let's chat about that. Because as you can see, the clamp. Ooh, see, I think is that too much? Oh, I can get, okay. So it's all about the technology, right? And it's a matter of trying to find like how well I can clamp into this table. There we go. And you gotta, it's really twisty. This is like that behind the scenes of how all the sausage is made, as it were. That seems better. Does seem like it is in a better spot. It's always going to be in my way. But in order for me to get the camera in the right spot, you know what I'm saying. So there we go. So let's see if that works a little better. And like I said, it's just a matter of getting this camera in the right spot. It's, you know, again, my hand has to sit here, but the camera's right there. So it's it's one of those I know that somehow my hand is always just going to be in the way. But c'est la vie. I do want to get more of an overhead cam, or one that's like more straight, like right on, sort of like the place where I am sitting. And I think that that would require, you know, I think some people call it like the headlight cam, you know, where they put it like on their physical body, and then it's like everything is from their perspective. I've seen that in like the tech world, and sometimes like just the movement of the person walking around and everything, it makes me like nauseated, which is really not what you want to go for when you're making a video. But there are times when I would like it to be more like what I am seeing. You know, so there is that. But if I do that, right, where I'm seeing it like how I'm seeing it, it's almost like you can't, if I put it there and I can try to focus in on it, you know, it doesn't quite give you like everything. It kind of needs to be like down and tilted forward more. But the rotation of this this thing does not do it. So I think that's like as good as it's gonna get. But you know, we're always working on those kinds of technology bits so that you guys can have a better experience. So there's that. So again, lots of up and down, lots of needle down and pivot, and that's usually what's going to make this process. But we're getting to a curved one, and that's going to be where some of this challenge is. So I'm a little excited to start showing you these curved ones, because they can be rather a challenge, you know? So, all right, so here's one. Here's the first of the curve one, and we want to go like as smoothly as we can, because if you don't go smoothly, this is what you get. Do you see how this one, it looks like it's, well, it's not smooth. Let's just put it that way. Now, a lot of that smoothness comes in the clipping, which we're going to talk about here in a second as well. Like clipping your curves is going to be part of what makes that work really well. So essentially what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to start curving it, and I'm in the needle is in the down position. So I'm going to keep, I'm just going to turn it a little bit. And you want to keep that curve going as much as possible. And what you don't want to do is pivot too much and then go continue around your curve, because what will happen is you'll get more of a straight part on your curve. Now, the straightaway, as I like to call it, I can go pretty fast. So there's that. Now I'm going to lift that and put it in the up position so that you can see here. And that is that's a really good curve. Okay. And let's even take this off the machine and show you from the other side. Okay. So you can see that that's a good curve. Now, if it were jerky or it had a spot in it, okay, that it would look, you'd be able to see it in that curve right away. So I have lost my top thread, so of course we've got to do a little stop of the maintenance here. Also, my top tension was not set right, but that's not going to matter a whole lot. It did matter on why I broke that thread, though. Now, this machine is probably almost 25 years old. I bought it new. I've been the only owner. It does have a good little needle threader, which is nice. And so it works pretty well, this little guy. I am not in the habit of naming my machines, so this machine is nameless. But I do like this little Janome. Janome's been a good brand to me, or for me, I should say. So we'll see. All right, so now down needle position. And yeah, we're just gonna keep going on this. We'll probably get this one done, and then we'll probably have to stop. So you start to try to anticipate like where the curve starts. And oops. Again, you don't want to pivot too much. If you over pivot, you are going to get those lumpy bumps. I keep raising my needle instead of pivoting. That's the walk and chew bubblegum part that sometimes I'm not good at. So I don't think that this one came out as good as the previous one. But let's take a look. Yep. So in this one, and I think it'll be more obvious when I flip it over, you can see that this one has more of a straight bottom, you know? And so we will be able to fix that somewhat, but not fully, just so that you're aware. Some things can be fixed, some things can't. So, but this will be the last one. Oh, so that is a thread nest, which my machine is prone to do. And that is because I have a bobbin case that likes to jump. It's just a thing with this particular machine. I just know it so well. But once you get there, all right, and then now we should be able to start turning. Oh, it's not sewing anything. Yep. So, like I said, I always laugh at the things that happen to me, like on live television or live video. It always cracks me up. So, yep, it looks like I did not pull the bobbin did not spin freely, so it wasn't really catching anything. So, in that case, you just rethread, and that will help. We'll take this top thread and we'll use it to go get that bottom thread. Ay, ay, ay. All right, so we will do this last one and then we will go for the evening. But yeah, I just wanted to get through this last one with you. Oh, nope. It's going to be one of those nights. It's going to be a little grouchy tonight. And again, I just know this machine so well that it has a life of its own sometimes. So, and if you do something like you change the tension or whatever, you kind of always should just rethread it, so that it can be back to its as normal self as possible. All right, so you've got that. All right, another try, shall we? See? Now this is a new needle too, so I know it's not the needle. But now that we're in that, so we're starting to do the curve. And you want to pivot, like you want to take a couple stitches, pivot. You do not want to like over curve or like under pivot. Because the more you pivot, the more exactly round that bottom tab, the bottom of that tab will be. Look at that. All done. Now my machine beeps at me when I take the lever up too fast. So there you go. More tabs. I think that's a good place to stop. It has been, it's going to be a great weekend. Paducah looks like it's going to be in good form. We've got lots of fun going on over here. No street festivals that I know of, but you never know. But we're very excited. Whew. Of course, you can go to shop.muppin.com and grab yourself something yummy for the holiday weekend, and we will ship it out to you pronto. We're going to be again live next Friday, so be sure to follow along because we will be in final mode for the Tuffet. I believe that this weekend I will get the last panel finished, which means by next Friday, we should have a final Tuffet. Woohoo! Online shopping! Mary says, yes, I agree. My friends, I hope you have a fantastic, safe Memorial weekend. Barbecue safe, stay safe. Of course, remember those who have served. And I hope that you get some sewing done today, this weekend, what have you. Take care of yourselves. Happy weekend to you and to you, Mary. And I will see all of you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.